Family goes, oh na na na, oh na na na.
Purchase your
Come kick it with the Casey's. All that love and all those babies. C-A-S-C-Y. Welcome to the life. Welcome. C-A-S-C-Y. DJ Envy and Gia, oh oh. It's time to kick it with the Casey's. You're tuned into the Casey crew.
What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the Casey Crew.
Welcome. Hello, beautiful people.
Yes, and we always start with thank you so much for all the support, for the DMs, the emails, the messages. We see it all, and we just want to say thank you. Also, of course, I got to remind you about our car show. So people always ask, like, what's the difference between your car show and all the other car shows out there? Well, one, my car show is family fun. And I shouldn't even say my car show. I say our car show because it's your car show too. It's family fun. We listen to what you guys like, what you guys hate about other shows, and we try to incorporate it in this show. So family fun, right? That's the first thing. It's something for the kids, whether it's rides, whether it's jumpies, whether it's obstacle courses, whether it's face painting. What we're doing is kids get free haircuts. We're giving backpacks while supplies last. That's what Ben's going to make me say, for all the kids going back to school. So we try to do stuff that's family fun, all right? Music, you guys said you wanted a vibe. So there is music, there's seating arrangements where you could just sit and chill and order your drink, get a drink, and just relax. We call that the baddie section, right? We heard
Wait, there's a baddie section?
Well, where people could sit.
Wait, what is it?
Where people could sit and get a drink and just relax.
Get a drink from where?
The bar.
There's a bar?
Yes.
You're doing a bar?
Yes.
Hold on. I told you that we should have done a bar years ago.
And we did years ago. We've always had a bar. The problem is you're always in the booth taking pictures and you probably never stepped out to see that there's a bar.
No, you always told me no to the bar.
That was the first year. Only the first year when we first started, we didn't have a bar. 5 other years, we had bars.
There's always a bar?
Always a bar.
I'm always preoccupied taking pictures and signing books.
God, I told you.
I asked the question. I'm like, wait, I didn't know that there was a bar. How come no one's ever got me a drink?
Because you get loosey-goosey with drinks, so.
This is true.
So that's the reason why. There's food trucks and great food, right? So you guys said you guys are tired of just a regular burger. You wanted something different, well, we have food trucks available as well. And then, of course, we have the dopest cars, celebrity cars, and we might have a performance or two. We just have to see, but there's a lot going on. Now, the next thing that you guys always said is affordability, right? These other car shows that we go to sometimes are so expensive. And I know how it is having kids and having to pay for everything going on with kids. So we try to keep our prices as low as possible because we want you to have a good time. We want you to bring the family. Parking. A lot of you guys say usually sometimes when you go to these events, you got to pay for parking. Free parking with us. You can come park for free. You ain't got to worry about paying that part of it. We just want you to come inside, have a good time, and really enjoy. So it's August 17th. Get your tickets if you haven't got them. I'm sure Esther will put the link right here, or you can go to Eventbrite or Event Noir to get your tickets.
So hold on, I never can put the link right here.
Oh, he said he can never put the link right here.
Can you put it right here?
It's in the description, he said.
How come you can't put the link? Oh, not the link.
Because it's YouTube.
You can't put a link, right?
All right, Mr. Smarty Pants over there. So he will just...
He's like, y'all just on there just saying stuff.
He'll put the website here, and you got to click the link in the description, okay?
Uh-huh.
That works out better. So today's show, what I wanted to start off with was with what's going on with the world today, right? With everything from violence to war to people having to decide who's the president with that stress, kids, the cost of everything is shooting up in prices. I mean, we tried to do the Whole Foods thing for a while, and Whole Foods got effing expensive. Like, it got to the point where 2 pieces of chicken was $100, right? And we all got to split the chicken 6 ways to get something to eat. And Brooklyn and Peyton just don't eat because we split it 6 ways. But we started talking about how expensive things were because you don't realize. People say, eat healthy.
Who don't realize?
Oh, I realize. Eat healthy. Go to Whole Foods because it's grass-fed. I didn't know grass was that expensive. If we feeding these animals grass, because it is expensive.
Uh-huh.
So what I wanted to discuss before we jump into the emails, because this show is going to be primarily on emails, but I wanted to discuss how do you unwind? How do you take the stress out? Because all of us out there, we work hard, whether we have a job or we're with the kids and family. How do we distress? People distress so many different ways. Some people love to go to the gym. That's their way of just getting things out. Some people smoke. Some people watch television. Some people, whatever it may be. Some people meditate. Some people take walks. Some people go on jogs. So we wanted to talk about how do you release the stress, because that's very important in today's day and age. So I'll start with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know what yours is.
You do?
Yep. I'll start with myself. So there are many different ways that I kind of try to relax, right? The first one is always, I love to drive, right? I love to drive to work in the morning. I love to drive to my office. I love to drive. And when I drive, if I'm not listening to 1010 Wins, I listen to 90s R&B. That puts me in a happy place, happy mood. Outside of that, I enjoy to work out. Like I like to, well, let me rephrase that. Let me bring that. I enjoy playing basketball with either my son or my daughter's boyfriend. It is just fun. It's just competition. And during that time, the reason I think I really, really enjoy it is because my phone is not connected to me. During that moment, I can't get a phone call. I can't get a text because we're playing basketball. So those are the things that I do. Also, I like to sit in the sauna for about 30 to 45 minutes. If you have one in a gym, or if you're able to get one, it just does a couple of things. One, it makes you sweat, which helps you lose weight. And they say that if you are in a sauna, it actually extends your life rate because it helps with your heart. So I like to do that as well.
How does it help with your heart?
I'm not sure what the heat does, but every time I go to physical therapy or I go to a doctor, they always say, if you go in the sauna, try to go in the sauna for 20 minutes a day. It helps with your heart.
You sweat when you're I never go in there with him.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually never been in the sauna.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a sauna, but not our sauna. You sweat?
Oh,
a lot
profusely.
Profusely?
Oh, yeah, like you can't even get my wife beater off because it's so stuck to me that I need help pulling off. It's just so wet.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, so
Hair.
right. Another thing that I like to do is I like edibles. I don't do it every day, but on the weekend I'll take edibles, and we have fuzzy sheets. And even in the summer, we have like these fuzzy sheets. So when you lay in bed and you have the fuzzy sheets on and you're cuddling with your bae and you're watching TV, the way that those sheets feel on you, it's just a relaxing mood. Another thing that I like to do is I like to just put my phone down. I put my phone down for hours, especially when I'm home or away. And the reason being is I have this option on my phone where nobody can call but Gia. So the phone won't ring, and it will only ring for Gia. And everybody knows that. So Mercedes knows that. My managers know that. So when they need to call me, they usually call Gia and be like, yo, can you call Eve because the phone won't ring? But it's just a time to decompress and relax. I'm not a big reader, so I don't read books. And I like to sleep. I will take a nap anywhere. Like, I take naps.
Any time.
Huh?
And at any time.
And at any time, I will take a nap in a moment, put my phone down, turn my phone off, and just take a little quick hour nap just to decompress and relax. And of course, every morning, Gia and I, we pray before I leave. And we hold hands, we pray, we thank God for everything that He's given us and whatever we're asking for, whether it's health, whether it's whatever it may be. And that is our decompress time. So let me ask you, I think I know for you, what is your decompressing time?
What do you think mine is? What do you think mine is? You said you know mine.
Number one is Gia's face. Gia, I believe, gets therapy from doing her face. When I mean doing her face, like Gia does her eyebrows.
Oh, you think that's funny? What were you thinking? What nasty thought were you just thinking as I
He thought I was doing her face. No, I didn't say that. Gia really likes to sit in the mirror.
What would you?
And she likes to do her face. And when I mean do her face, she does her eyebrows every day, which I don't understand. Like every day she gets a tweezer and she plucks her eyebrows. And these are real. Like if I go like this and like that, they won't go anywhere because that's her real hair. Like, let me do it. Let me show them.
Stop it. Get away from me. Stop. Stop being a weirdo.
Her eyebrows are not painted on, nor are they tattooed on. But so I think for Gia, it's sitting in the mirror doing her face, whether it's plucking her eyebrows, whether it's moisturizing. She has this stupid mask that she puts on. Can you do me a favor, Benz? Can you go upstairs in my bedroom right fast? And there's a mask on the bed. Can you just grab it? Because I want to show people what I have to look at when I wake up and how sexy this thing is. I also think Gia's therapy is...
You don't like my RoboCop sex vibes?
No, we're going to show them. Yeah. I also think Gia's therapy is watching television.
Yes.
I think she likes to watch television, and she likes to watch those shitty shows. outside of the shitty shows, she watches like Criminal Minds or the Criminal Forensic
Not Criminal
Files show.
Minds. Okay.
So that's what I think yours is. So how do you relax? How do you unwind when you had a stressful day? Your kids have been bothering you. I've been bothering you. How does Gia relax?
Well, I don't dabble in any of the things. So,
She means edibles. She doesn't take edibles, nor does she smoke. Go ahead.
or I don't really drink. Occasionally I'll have a Bailey's, like I have a Bailey's right here, but I really only drink that when we're doing the podcast.
Mhm.
But I do like it.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Let's go ahead.
Just go ahead. You know, I can't stand him. Look at this guy.
So this is Gia's mask.
Oh, wait, let me fix it. I got to fix it for you. Yeah, let me fix it. Let's see. Your head is bigger than mine.
Of course it is. But I'm bunch. So this is Gia's mask. Gia got this mask for Mother's Day.
Yes, Madison got me this for Mother's Day.
Right.
Yeah, take a look.
So now Gia gets in the bed. I'm in the bed, right? And you know, Gia sleeps naked. It's a little TMI. But she would have this mask on. And then she'd be like,
It's me naked with a mask.
and she'd be like, am I sexy?
Stop it.
I'm like, if you don't take that shit off, but she sits with this mask for a while. You want to turn on the lights so they can see the lights just for a second?
Okay, so this is
Just turn the
by,
lights on. The light on.
hold on, this is by Dr. Dennis Gross, because people might actually be interested. This is by Dr. Dennis Gross, and it has a whole host of skincare benefits. It's supposed to help as far as anti-aging, discolorations, and if you're prone to blemishes or anything like that, there's a blue light that's supposed to penetrate your epidermis, that's supposed to alleviate the bacteria that's involved with causing acne. So it has 3 settings. So you press it for 2 seconds for the red light, and it's LED lights. It's not a laser or anything like that. You only wear it for three minutes. It has a timer. It goes off in 3 minutes. So the red light is for anti-aging. The second light, which is the blue light, this is for acne, blemishes, things of that nature. And if you press the third one, did it change? There we go. If you press the third one, it's the red and the blue light combined. So every day after I wash my face on a dry face, I put this mask on for 3 minutes, and then it goes off. I take it off, and then I proceed to my skincare essence, and then my serum.
So for 3 minutes, she's like this. You want me to give you head?
That's not true. That's not true. He's lying. That's not true.
She does it all the time.
That's not true.
You think I'm sexy?
I
For
might
three
say-
minutes, she does that with the stupid mask
I
on.
might say, do you think
For
I'm
3 minutes, and she does it every day. Take this lights off. But every day she does it.
I'll be like,
Every day. Now that mask was not an endorsement. We don't get paid for it. I'm just telling you
no,
what
that
Gia
was
does.
actually a Mother's Day gift from Madison to me. Yes.
So go ahead. So
and I love it. It's actually working. Like, it's great. But it's expensive, though. It's very, very expensive.
So that's what Gia does to unwind. And what else are some of the things? Like, you watch your television shows. Like, Gia is into her show, whether it's Bridgerton, whether it's the Housewives franchise, whether it's Forensic Files. What else do you do? Because people always want a way to unwind and relax.
Well, yeah, no, mine's not complicated. I am a homebody. I am a hermit. I could stay locked in this house for a year and have no qualms about it. So
She was happy at COVID. 4 years, 3 years in the house, she was happy.
I do not go out unless I absolutely must. So for me to be home in my room by myself or with you, with the remote on one side, my phone on the other, with no makeup, naked and under my fuzzy sheets is my happy place. Because I just turn on Netflix or I turn on one of my shows. And yeah, I'm watching right now the 3rd season of Bridgerton, but there's like a little break before the second part starts up again. I think it starts up in a few days. Listen, I watch everything. I watch everything. So all the new releases, anything that seems halfway good, I give it a chance.
So watch Selling London. Like, it'd be the weirdest.
I think it's Buying London.
Oh, Buying London. She watches the most random stuff on TV.
I love real estate shows. I love looking at homes and properties and things of that nature. So if that show exists, I watch it. The only one I don't watch is one that's taking place in Paris. I think it's called L'Agence. Or
Because they don't speak English.
yes, Yeah, but I was
We-
tempted to watch it anyway.
We
Just
tried to
read the
watch it for a little bit.
subtitles.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
we couldn't, yeah.
But I love that. I love not Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds was like 10 years ago. We used to watch that. But any type of crime drama or a realistic crime show that has to do with murder or anything like that, I'm very much into that. I'm into very, very serious shows and serious movies as well. I like things that challenge you to think. I love figuring out the end of a show before the end happens.
Mhm.
So I'm really good at, probably within like the first 10 minutes, tapping Rashawn and telling him, you know how this is going to end, right? So this character is going to do this, and then that's going to happen. And I play it all out. And by the time that, the show's over, usually right. But that's fun for me. It's like a challenge, so I don't like what I call stupid shows. If it's something that I don't feel as though it can really happen in real life, I'm not interested. I don't watch anything sci-fi, nothing sci-fi, because it's not realistic to me. I don't usually watch anything silly. But you know what I did watch that I enjoyed about, 3 or 4 months ago? The First Wives Club with Jill Scott. It was, a cute show, and I watched it and actually enjoyed it. But I'm a serious show watcher. You know what I watched that I enjoyed? I don't know if you guys saw it. The Tom Brady roast.
You watch a lot of comedy recently.
Yeah.
We watch Joe Coy. Salute to Joe Coy.
Yeah.
We watch Earthquake, Cat Williams, the Tom Brady roast,
The Tom
Kevin
Brady
Hart,
roast
Dave Chappelle. We watch a lot of comedy. We used to go out to comedy shows a lot. Now there's no smaller comedy venues that much anymore. Now they're big. We kind of like the small, intimate comedy stuff. So we used to go out a lot, but not
we used to go to a comedy show, I would say at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. We love comedy, all types of comedy, anything goes for me. But yeah, I'm very simple. I'm very simple. I don't do much to relax. As long as I'm in the house with my kids, I enjoy, like, you're not just like me in the sense where I enjoy when my kids come running into the room and plop on the bed and spend time with me and we cuddle up and.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I don't is usually because we're in the middle of doing something, right? Gia and I could be watching a movie, we're 30 minutes in, and then that's when they all want to come in. And I'm like, can we just finish this movie? Can let mom and dad finish this movie? Or Gia and I can be talking about something that's serious or something that, whatever it may be.
As soon as they walk in, we're like, out.
Yeah, right, because
they literally just turn around and walk back out.
That's usually what it is. But we have that type of household where our kids walk in. But I just wanted to say that, sometimes you have to find your happy place, right? You have to find a place to release. Like I know Mercedes, who is my executive assistant, she listens to R&B music all day long. That vibe, that's like a Summer Walker, Money Long, her, who else? Probably Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. Like that's her vibe. You get in her car, you're gonna get that vibe. She's gonna light candles and incense and all that. That's her vibe. That's her way of relaxing. So you always have to find a way to relax and just decompress. Put the cell phone down and just enjoy yourself. And that helps out with life. I just started doing that maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. But before that, I'd never relaxed. It was just always work until I'm damn near falling asleep and then get back up and do it again. But I realized with relaxing and finding that peaceful place, it makes me a happier person. And it, releases a lot of that stress.
Mm-hmm. But, you kind of introduced this topic by talking about how expensive everything is now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from the smallest things to your larger things. And I wonder often, like, how are people coping?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are people coping with going to the grocery store and $200 getting you almost nothing? Getting you a box of cereal, 2 meats, a sauce, some fruit punch, and some orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what $200 gets you now, and maybe some yogurt. I just honestly, how do you think that your average person right now is coping? And it's funny. This is a strange thought. Don't think too deeply into it. But I was driving the other day, and this thought literally went through my mind, and I said, I wonder if the obesity rate Or you know how they say
Mhm.
whatever percentage of Americans are overweight, it might be like 60 or 70%. It's something wild. And I said to myself, I wonder if that rate is going to go down
No,
soon because
be worse.
how are people affording to eat? I'm thinking that some people probably have to think, like, damn, I might only be able to eat twice today
No.
at the rate that the prices of food is
But
increasing.
the problem is people can't get a good quality food, so they have to go to a lot of these.
So
fast
now they're
food
just eating
changes,
junk food.
and they're getting these junk food, and they're going to fast food.
Fast food. No, it's not fast food. Fast food is unaffordable as well.
Yeah, well,
You
some
even said a
places,
couple podcasts ago that that what used to be a $2.99 meal is now $10.
but that's there. But you can go to the hood
It's
and
an
go to a
increase
chicken
of-
joint, and it's still $2.99, and you get French
No.
fries in there, so they're still
No,
$3.99.
I don't think so.
Well, last time you been in the hood to say yes or no?
Don't tell. Listen,
Yeah,
you're talking about in the hood. No, food is expensive everywhere.
It is,
I don't
but
think
that's what
that even
people
in
are
the
eating.
hood you're gonna get a $2.99 meal of anything.
There's food that's still $3.99 at certain places where the food and the quality is not that good.
And then the drink will be $3.99 as well.
Well, you go to some
It's just-
places and there's still 99-cent sodas and things like that. But that's where people go because that's all they can afford. And like you said, you say, well, how are they coping? They can't. It's so expensive. They're saying the foreclosure rate is high. They're saying the repo rate of people getting their car repossessed is high. They're saying credit card bills are high. And this is when politics plays into it. This is when, President Biden or Donald Trump or Cornel West or whoever you're voting for, this is where it matters because this is where the people need help. We send billions and billions and billions, and I don't want to be political, but we send billions and billions of dollars to all these other nations to help them with their war and to help them with their problems. But we have our own problems and our own situations here that I feel like are never answered. And they have to be answered because it's fucked up. It's really, really bad. And people are going to have to go back to the fact where they have to start cooking again. Just to tell you, like I said, every Sunday
It's expensive
I
to
cook
cook.
burgers. Every Sunday I cook burgers. 4 burgers is $6, right? $6.19 for 4 burgers. And usually we have to cook 12. We have to cook 12 burgers, right? Because we're such a big family. So you're talking 6 times 3, which is 18. That doesn't include French fries and
Wait,
juice. But
times 3.
yeah,
You said 6 burgers.
they come in a pack of 4. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 6 times 3 is 18. So it costs $18.
Right.
And you still got to get fries and soda, but we have to cook because
water.
it's like, think about it like this. If we take all our kids to a fast food restaurant, that same meal for each kid, $9 a kid, and there's a house of 8 of us, that's $90.
No.
$72, sorry.
No, it's more than that.
Yeah.
It's more than that.
But
If I go to Chick-fil-A, I feel as though by the time that I get my meal, and maybe if I upgrade my fries to a mac and cheese or, something like that, it's like $13, $14. Now it's that times 8 people, which is wild.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I just go and I'm getting food just for 2 kids or 2 kids and a baby, I'm at almost $40. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, that is tough for the middle class.
It's tough for anybody.
It's especially, but let's hone in. That is tough for the middle class, and it is astronomical for anyone that's below middle class. Like that, it just seems unaffordable. And I'm wondering, and I see people make jokes about it, like online and whatnot. You see memes and stuff about it, and that's funny and it's cute, and they're always very creative. Okay, but I really do wonder how people are coping. I know that for me, I find it difficult, like to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I really want to shop at Whole Foods anymore because every time I go, we're a huge family. Like what I spend on groceries a month feels ridiculous, So I always wonder, so that has to be very, very stressful for moms and dads who are supporting a family. It has to be difficult for the family that's, watching their parents have to support them, knowing how expensive it is. And I just wonder, how they deal with it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's difficult, and like to say that everybody else that's dealing with it, we all are, because the prices of everything is shooting through the roof from tolls and gas. So we definitely all are.
Clothes, everything. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the email of the week. Okay. All right. Hi, Gia and Envy. I admire the relationship that you all have with your children. I need some parenting advice. I'm a single mom of a 13-year-old. Just as I tell my son, he is the perfect son. He listens at home, never gets into trouble at school, loves to be involved in sports, doesn't do any drugs, and is very mature for his age. The only thing I struggle with is his motivation with schoolwork. His grades are 4 D's, 1 F, and an A in PE. When asked why his grades were like that, he does say he doesn't care for school. As a single parent, I do have to work a lot due to I'm the only provider for both of us. I still take the time to get us therapy for better communication, tutoring, school visits, and stay in communication with his teachers. I don't have the privilege of being able to watch his every move. His 8th grade promotion just passed, and he was not able to participate due to his grades.
His 8th grade promotion.
Yeah, his 8th grade promotion just passed. I don't know what that means.
I feel that means graduation.
No, graduation, yeah.
Hold on, wait. Promotion just passed, and he was not able to participate due to his grades. So does that mean that he wasn't able to graduate?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
As he will continue to high school this year, well, he's going to high school, I'm afraid of him continuing his lack of motivation in his next phase in life. I do punish him by taking the things he enjoys in life, like his PS5 and his cell phone he has to keep so I can communicate with him while I work, but I do block all games on his phone. We do have a great relationship with him that reminds me very much of how y'all have with y'all children. I am very blessed to have him as a son. I would like to know if you have any recommendations on what else I can do. I feel like I've tried everything and nothing seems to work when it comes to motivation. I don't have a degree, but I have worked my way up to have a great job. So I don't expect A's and B's, but at least passing grades. Please help. All right. Well, I'll start off while Gia looks over it. What I think that we as parents have to realize that every kid is not a school kid, right? I know when I was a kid and I know when Gia was a kid, our parents focused heavily on grades, right? Grades. But some schools and education, this doesn't connect to some kids. Some kids they don't care about or into it, or it's difficult to learn. That doesn't make your child stupid. It doesn't make your child dumb. It just means that he is into other things. I'm not going to front. I think some of the schools and some of the curriculums that they have out there are full of shit. There's so many things that I did in school that we don't do anymore, right? And not to say that it's not right or not wrong, but those things do not apply to today's world. Back in the day, those things applied, of course, because there was so many different things that you would have to use mathematical problems for, or certain things that you needed. But outside of that, I mean, not to say that we have to rely on computers, phones, and all these other things, but I think there's other ways that I think that we should be educating our kids that are a lot better, a lot more entertaining, a lot more fun. First and foremost, I would say, what is your kid into? What does he like? What does he enjoy? And the reason I ask you that is college isn't for everybody. There's some people that feel like they shouldn't have to go to college, and maybe they go to trade school. And trade school, I'm meaning, maybe he's into automotive. Maybe he's into healthcare. Maybe he's into welding. Maybe he's into plumbing. Maybe he's into HVAC, whatever it may be. I would say find out what he enjoys to do. Outside of that, maybe he wants to be a coder. And maybe he's into video games and he wants to make video games. We have to think outside the box when it comes to raising our kids, because the typical job is not a typical job anymore. He could be a coder and make millions of dollars being a coder. He could be a kid that finds out about marketing on YouTube and makes millions of dollars doing that. There's so many different things that we can do outside of the typical regular job, and maybe that's just not for him. Also, I would say maybe, and I'm not saying that this is your kid, but maybe he has a learning disorder. And not say, oh, my kid don't got no learning disorder, but not a learning disorder where, like I said, not to say that your kid is dumb or stupid, but maybe he learns differently. I was one of those kids that didn't get A's and B's, or if I got a C, I was happy. My parents were happy. It wasn't because I was a dumb child. It was just because I wasn't into school. My mind likes to move. My mind likes to go. Even down to this day, when Gia talks to me sometimes, or Mercedes speaks to me, or the kid speaks to me, I'm kind of zoned out because I'm thinking about other things that I enjoy. So when it comes to our businesses, a lot of the businesses that I think of come from me just coming up with an idea. And Mercedes is known.
Hold on.
What?
You just have to. You might have to rephrase that.
What?
You said when me, Benz, and the kids are talking to you, sometimes you zone out because you're too busy thinking about things that you enjoy.
Oh.
I was like,
no.
what?
I didn't mean it like that. But
that's what I said. I know what you meant. I think you need to rephrase
but
that.
usually when people are talking to me, sometimes I just get these ideas, and these ideas just continue to move in my head. For instance, the car show. The car show was just an idea that I was like, I want to do it. And everybody laughed at me. Everybody's like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, I want to do a car show. And they were like, what? It came out of nowhere. But then it was this successful thing that we do 3-4 times a year that, accumulates tens of thousands of people. But maybe that's what your son is into. Ben's, I used to text Ben. She has a man now, so I don't text it now at this time. But I used to text Ben's every morning at about 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m. with just my ideas, right? And the reason being is because when I'm in the car driving to work, that's when things just start hitting me and ideas just start hitting me and things I want to do just start hitting me. And I would text it to Ben's because she would have to follow through with some of those ideas. Even if you guys seen the car show video where Gia's walking and we go through the cars and it's got, I think close to millions of views at this point. But that idea was just me waking up one day and be like, yo, I think it'd be dope if we use Gia's leg to walk past the thing. And they all looked at me like, what? And I remember saying like, yo, let's go to the office now. And we went to the office. Gia had no idea what was going on. I was like, Gia, put on some shoes. She was like, babe, my shoes are in boxes. What color shoes? Put on some boots. Put on something sexy. And she put on those boots. And I was like, this is what I want you to do. I want you to walk, but I want you to do the model walk past the car and hop in. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. But then when the finished piece was done, it was all like, yo, that was dope. But those are the type of ideas that I have thinking outside the box. So maybe your son is that type of child. He just is not into the mathematics, the reading, the writing, the curriculum of school. He might be into something else, and that doesn't make him a dumb child. So I would say just see what he's into, push him towards that direction, and see what happens from there. You don't have to do what everybody else does. Everybody's not made to be a doctor. Everybody's not made to be an attorney. Everybody's not made to be a basketball player, a plumber, a healthcare physician, a DJ, or whatever it may be. He might have other plans, and I would say massage those plans and help him try to accumulate his goals.
I love what you just said. That, yeah. You've been hitting the mark on the podcast this season. Good job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm really, that was very open-minded. Mm-hmm. Because originally my answer was kind of going one way, and after listening to your advice, I'm like, maybe that might be more the way to go. So I'll say this. I absolutely agree with you. Mm-hmm. But when he says, her son, when he says, I'm just not into school. Yeah, he may just not be into school, but it begs the question to me, does that give him the right to decide that he's not going to put any effort into trying to do well? Because what did she say? 4 D's and F and an A and P in gym, PA, right?
PE.
PE.
Yeah.
PA is Pennsylvania.
Yeah, PE.
Yeah, in PE, physical education. Does a child have the right to say, yeah, I'm just not into it. So I'm just gonna, not try. I'm not going to put any effort in. I'm not going to do my homework. I'm not going to study for my tests. I'm not going to hand in my assignments on time because, I'm just not into school. Yeah, no, I don't think that flies.
But maybe he does. Maybe he does study, but he just can't retain it because it's not. It's not fun for him. And
I didn't get that vibe from the email.
But this is the perfect example. When I was in school, I would have to study to remember. I never studied to learn because I wasn't into a lot of the things that I had to take. Mm-hmm. I would just study to remember. It was almost like lines at a play, like I was an actor. I would study those lines just to pass that test. Mm-hmm. Half the shit that I took, I don't even remember.
You didn't process.
No,
I just studied to pass.
I memorized.
You studied to pass. You didn't study to learn.
But what did that?
That's a mistake that most kids make.
But what did that do for me? I should have took classes that I was really into to.
But a lot of kids don't have that option. You have to take classes within the curriculum.
Right. But that's whack. Curriculum's whack.
Okay, so we can disagree with the education system all day long. But the fact is, it is what it is. And I'm wondering if a child has the right to say, I'm not into it, so I'm not going to try to do my best. And I don't think so.
I don't think that's the case. He could say he's not into school, but I don't think the kid doesn't try. The way the mom sounds like they have a great relationship. He's a smart kid. He does a kid. I think that he sounds like a good kid. I don't think he's like,
He sounds like a great kid.
I don't think he's like, Mom, fuck you. I'm not doing it. I don't think it's that.
No.
I just think that he can't.
Him
get
not
together.
trying doesn't mean that he's a foul child at all. He could be as sweet as the day is long, but still when it comes to his education, be completely and thoroughly disinterested.
So what would you advise for her at this point?
My advice, if it were my child, what I would do. I remember when I was in the 5th grade, and
Long time ago.
I remember when I was in the 5th grade, and my 5th grade teacher, her name was Mrs. Sershone. And she was known, her and Sister Phyllis were known to be the hardest teachers in the school and the quote unquote meanest teachers in the school. You couldn't slide. For me, throughout my entire educational year, like high school, college, elementary, all of it, I did not have to try hard. I did not have to work. I didn't have to study. I was one of those kids that was able to just cram. I could cram the night before and get 100. That was how I was. That's how I went through my entire educational career.
Even college.
I never went to class. I never showed up. My teachers, I would show up for the final. I'd be like, who are you? But anyway, so I wasn't, if I had to work harder, I would have. But I remember when I was in the 5th grade, Mrs. Hershon was different. She was different. You couldn't just BS an essay question, because that's what I was used to doing. I would just BS an essay question, get all 5 points for it. And I remember going home and talking to my mom and saying like, hey, this teacher's tough. And, and she was a social studies teacher, but she was the 5th grade homeroom teacher as well. And she said, listen, with social studies, this is how you have to look at it. It's like a series of stories. History is recounts of things that have happened in the past. And if you're learning about it, it's because it's interesting. It's because it either changed the country or it changed the world. You're learning about wars. If you're learning about a war, it's one side versus the other. What was the point of contention? What were they fighting over? Gia, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Who won? How did they win? What were their tactics? Were the tactics just or were they evil? And their stories, the Boston Tea Party, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, the Industrial Revolution, all of these things that we learn, right? And I said, wow, you know what? Like, you're right. You're right. I went from, because I had this conversation with my mom after I got a C in Mrs. Hershon's class. I had never gotten a C. But 5th grade, my homeroom teacher, social studies teacher, I got a C. And I was devastated. And that's what I went to my mom about. My mom made me actually want to study. She made me want to learn. And she said, Gia, you know what? If you want, I love history. I'll study with you. Bring your book, come into my room, let's lay in the bed and study. And when you have a test, you know what you do? Read the chapter on a tape machine. Like back then it was like a tape recorder, right? Read your chapter on a tape recorder. And right before you go to bed at about 9:00 at night, press play as you're falling asleep. And you're going to be listening to it for about maybe 30 minutes before you fall asleep. And then you'll fall asleep and it's still going. It's implanting that information in your brain. And do that. You don't have to physically open the book and just listen to it night after night after night. And I did. And I felt like I was reading myself a story. And it really helped. My mom changed my perspective on learning as it pertained to social studies. And now it's funny because I'm saying the same things to my littles. I'm saying, London, social studies, think about it like a story, and exactly what my mom said to me, I'm saying to her, and it's working. I think a lot of our I'm saying all this to say that I think a lot of our perspectives in this world are dependent upon our outlook. What is your mindset? What is the reason why your son isn't predisposed to wanting to learn? He doesn't find it interesting. But oftentimes learning is interesting. It all depends on the construct, how it's presented to your child. And that can make a world of difference. So my advice would be to try to switch his mindset, find creative ways to talk to him and to increase his interest, and then do some of those things with him. You know, if it's science, maybe take him to a science museum, pique his interest, because in all actuality, learning is fun. Another answer for me, what I did with Madison, what I've done with my kids, because when I was younger, I always felt, because listen, I had no choice. I had to get good grades. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It wasn't like, oh, well, you know, my mom would help me. She would be instrumental in guiding me and all that stuff, but there was no choice. I had to be a straight A student or else it'd be hell to pay, period. You know, I wouldn't put that on my kids. I wouldn't say, you know, you have to be a straight A student, but I would encourage them to do their very best as well as they possibly could, you know, and I would be there to help them. I would take them on field trips. I would do anything to kind of mold their mindset.
And I would just say one other thing too, and good luck, and hopefully this helps you. Gia was right, because I hated history. I hated social studies, but I hated it because the way it was taught. I enjoy it now. And the reason I enjoy it now is because we sit around the bed and we talk about history.
Oh, this was just like 3 nights ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So, of course, it'll be the other night. It was me. It was Gia. I was sleeping, though. But I still listen while I'm sleeping. It was me, Gia. It was Madison. It was her boyfriend, Andrew, and Logan. I think another one of the little kids were in there as well. Maybe London.
Talking about.
We were just talking about history.
London.
We were just talking about history.
Yes.
We were talking about Pearl Harbor. In Hawaii. We were talking about Civil War.
Yes.
We were talking about all these things, but it's a lot better when your family explains it and you're talking about it and you're going back and forth and you're talking about the facts. And it wasn't nothing that came out of a book. It was just us discussing.
Yeah.
And those are, I think, some of the dopest things to discuss. And even, you know, thank God my dad is still alive. We didn't call my dad a couple of times. You know, he was he was in the Vietnam War. So we're able to call him and say, yo, Pop, what tell us about this? And he tells us about how it was back then, or he discusses how it was for him, you know, him born in the 1940s and how it was for him in the 60s dealing with racism and how he feels about different things. And, you know, we even challenge him sometimes to talk about presidency or how he feels about Joe Biden, how he feels about Trump, because they give you a different angle of life, because they came from a different part, right? They came from a part where he couldn't, and this sounds like ancient, but he couldn't drink from every water fountain. He could only drink out of certain water fountains because he was black. He couldn't only go to certain bathrooms because he was black. And he breaks that down, what that means. So we have those conversations all the time, and not where it's like you better know now, where it's like we have conversations. We just talk about different things. And now with all these documentaries and everything that's going on, we're able to discuss all of it. So I would say open it up to your child and make it fun conversation.
Yeah.
And I think he'll enjoy it.
Even with your dad, this was years ago, though. This might have been like 5 years ago. I was watching it by myself. I wanted you to watch it with me, but you were busy. And I watched something on Netflix called Chernobyl. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I thought it was really good. But it was about a nuclear plant that exploded in Europe.
Yeah.
And I did pick up the phone and call your dad. And I'm like, so do you remember when Chernobyl happened? And, you know, tell me about it. And what do you know? This is what happened in the movie. Were there any things that happened that, you know, that they missed, that you know of and whatnot? It was actually very interesting. So what my mom taught me, like she literally planted seeds in me that really piqued my curiosity and my interest in the topic. But for that conversation, I doubt very much that would have happened. What I was going to say is, something that I've implemented is with Madison. With Madison, I did something a little different than what my mom did. So because I had to get good grades, I felt as though I was getting good grades for my mother. Because my dad was more chill. You know, he kind of let my mom handle that. But I felt like these A's were for my mom. If I don't get A's, I will get in trouble. And of course, it made her happy. She felt proud, all that good stuff. But as I became an adult, I realized that that's not what getting good grades are about. And I switched it up, and that's what I did with Madison. I said to her, and then I followed with Logan, you are getting good grades for you. I personally don't have any vested interest in your grades. If you get good grades in elementary school, then you will go to a good high school. If you get good grades in high school, then you will have the opportunity to potentially go to a good college. If you do not get good grades in high school, then the college is going to pick you. You're not going to pick your college. You're going to cast that net, and whatever fish you come back with, that's going to be the plate of your choices. So you may want to go to UCLA or University of Southern California or Duke or Notre Dame or NYU or you name it, or an Ivy, and your grades and your extracurriculars and your volunteer work, it may not get you there. So you're going to be left to settle. It all starts from when you are a younger individual approaching your educational career. It starts from there and then it builds. And I want you to have the best life possible, the most fun life possible. And you know how you're able to have a lot of fun? By having choices, being able to choose your life, being able to say, this is the path that I want to take and this is the path that I'm going to take, instead of taking the path that's left clear for you, where you're just like, oh, well, this is the only path available, so I guess I'm going to take it and, I'm going to go that route. But if you do well in school, if you work hard, then you have choices. You go to a good college or a good trade school. It all depends on what it is that you want to do with your life. So you do have to start there. My kids don't really have a choice. They're going to go to college, if they want to take up a trade alongside going to college, that's great. But I just want all of my kids to have the foundation of a college foundation. So that's what's right for my home and my kids. But if they want to do something else, that's all well and good as well. But I don't want them to feel as though they're getting good grades from me. So with Madison, from the age that she was able to understand, that is what I told her. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have never, ever, ever checked Madison's homework. I have never checked London's homework. I have never had to help either of them with an essay or anything like that, because that conversation that we've had, it instilled self-motivation in them. It made both of them want to do the best that they could for themselves. You don't have to worry about getting a D. And this is how I would present it. If you get a D, that's on you. You're not going to get punished. You're not going to get in trouble. Just know that D is an inhibitor. That's going to inhibit you from getting to the next level. And you're going to be the one that pays for it. And it's not, listen, if you were challenged, if you had, like Rashawn said, a learning disability, or you just weren't able, then I get it. But that's not really what it's about here. Like if you have limitations, that's a different story, but they don't. So not being able to accomplish that, it's all based on, their own motivation and ambition. So I think that you have to let your kids essentially know what a good education means. It's not get a good grade or you get in trouble.
That's right. Well, we wish you the best, and please send us another email. Let us know how it works out. And we thank you guys for emailing us. You can email us as well, thecaseycrew@gmail.com. That's THEECaseycrew@gmail.com. It's time for us to get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And that was another edition of the Casey Crew.
Toodles.